Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Monday, 11th of August 2025. I am Langton Mwanaka, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. Defense Forces Day brings sad memories of August 2018 military killings, says opposition official. Youth leader speaks of lost dreams amid unemployment crisis in Zimbabwe. 17 months later, no arrests on gold mafia. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. Opposition official Stephen Sarkozy Chuma has said the Defense Forces Day brings back sad memories of military shootings on 1 August 2018 that left at least 6 people dead. Chuma told Citizens Movement Radio that the country needs a defense service that is professional and non-partisan. Let's hear Chuma speaking.
Yes, today is a national holiday for the Defense Forces of Zimbabwe, but the day brings with it sad memories of how 6 innocent civilians were shot dead by the military on the streets of Harare on 1 August 2018. In a normal country, in a normal society, the military are expected to defend the people. The military are expected to protect citizens. But this is not what is obtaining in Zimbabwe, as we witnessed in 2018 under the command of Emmerson Mnangagwa as the commander of the Defense Forces of Zimbabwe. The presidential guard was unleashed on innocent and armed civilians in the streets of Harare, which left a blood trail. This is not what we want as citizens. This is not a defense force that we want as citizens. We want a defense service, not a defense force. A defense service protects its citizens. A defense service make sure that the interests of the people are put first. A defense service is professional and non-partisan, and this is what we call from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Not to be reduced to ZANU-PF thugs that maim and kill innocent civilians.
Today is the International Youth Day, and we spoke to opposition youth leader Kelvin Tinaro, who was recently acquitted by the courts of trumped-up charges of trying to dislodge Emmerson Mnangagwa from power. Tinaro told CMR that dreams and aspirations of youth in Zimbabwe are doomed under the current ZANU-PF government, as many remain trapped in poverty due to unemployment and exclusion. Let's hear more from Tinaro.
Ndinokutendai mutoro wenhau hongu ndini Kelvin Tinarwo Masvingo Youth Task Force Leader ndakabatana ne-One Voice Youth Zimbabwe. Nhasi tiri kupemberera zuva revechidiki International Youth Day, apo patiri kutarisa kuremekedzwa kodzero dzevechidiki kana kuti kuremekedzwa kwevechidiki pasi rose. Asi muno muZimbabwe tiri kuona kuti kodzero dzedu dzevechidiki dziri kumbunyikidzwa. Kodzero dzedu hadzisi kuremekedzwa, hatisi kuonekwa sevanhu muno munyika yeZimbabwe, nenhau yekuti ukanotarisa kutotanga nepama-elections. Election constitution iri kutaura kuti president, kuti uve president you must have 40 years and above, but vari kuuya kwatiri vouya vachiti tivhoterei, tovhotera munhu ane 80 years. Why musiri kuda kuti muyouth ane 18 kana kuti muyouth ane 20 years akonteste kuita president? Izvozvo zvega zvinotobuditsa pachena kuti hatisi kuremekedzwa, hatisi kutorwa sevanhu muno munyika. Asi muchitida, pamunenge muchida kutishandisa kuti mimi mupinde mupawa, mapinda mupawa moita umbimbi-ndoga, motanga kutsveta zvigananda pamberi zvoba mari yenyika. Isu vana venyika yacho, mayouth, tichitambura. Nyika haina mabasa kutaura kuno. VaMnangagwa vakapromisa vechidiki 2 million jobs 2018. Up to now hatina basa ratati taona ravhurirwa vechidiki, kunze kwekutoti maindastries aishanda ari kutovhara nenyaya yekuti nyika iri kulutwa, maresources ari kubuda achienda kune dzimwe nyika. Izvo zvaakuita kuti vechidiki vazhinji vatore zvinodhaka vapute, vechidiki vazhinji vaite mabasa akaipa akaita seekuba nezvimwe zvakasiyana-siyana, nenyaya yekuti hakuna mabasa. Ndiri kupedza kugraduate, ndiri kubva kuuniversity, but ndiri kuita 30 years ndisati ndawana basa. kana kutotadza kutopinda basa ndiri kuenda mustreet kunoita vhenda asi ndine degree randakasiya ndaturika rinosvika pakurumwa nemakonzo rigopera ndakangoturika degree pamadziro kusina nyika isina mabasa. Izvo zvakukonzera zvekuti vazhinji vabude kune dzimwe nyika, vanozama kunotsvakawo kune dzimwe nyika. Saka tiri kuti hurumende ngaitrai kugadzirisa iremekedze kodzero dzevechidiki, ichionewo sevanhu, kwete kuti ivo vega ndo vari kuzviti tisu takarwa hondo, saka imimi vechidiki hamuna chamunotiudza. Nyika yedu haitorina democracy, nyika yedu haitorina freedom of expression. Mukatarisa ndakasungwa muna April after ndanzi ndakurudzira demonstration kana kuti ndaronga demo iyo yainzi ine chekuita nageza, yataitaura kuti we are saying no to vision 2030 nekuti vamunangagwa havana chavari kuita chinobatika chekuti tingavainjosa kuti vasvike 2030. Ipapo ndo patiri kurambirana napo, hatisati taguma nenhau iyoyo, chiri kuramba tichidzoka nayo futi. Tine zvimwe zvatichatoita because munangagwa hatisi kuda kuti asvike 2030. We need new leaders, we need new young leaders. President Advocate Nelson Chamisa ndo vachatungamirira zvichagutsa ruzhinji, ndo vachaunza mabasa munyika, ndo vachaunza shanduko. Zvimwe zvese zviri kuitwa nezvigananda muri kurova pasi manje. Remekedzai kodzero dzevechidiki, remekedzai vechidiki. Nyika ndeyedu tese, hapana nyika inoopareta isina mayouth. I thank you.
It is now more than 17 months since an investigative documentary by Al Jazeera called Gold Mafia was released. The documentary exposed how individuals linked to ZANU-PF dictator Emmerson Mnangagwa are fleeing the country of millions of US dollars in gold smuggling and illicit financial flows. Former lawmaker and opposition official Eric Gono told CMR that the reluctance by the state to investigate the scandal shows that Mnangagwa or his family members are involved. Let's hear Gono explaining.
It's almost 2 years now after the release of the investigative documentary on the Gold Mafia. But in all that time, we have not heard of anyone who has been arrested for smuggling gold. What was established beyond reasonable doubt there in that documentary is that the mineral resources of this country are being looted. What was also revealed without doubt is that there are some government officials involved, and the investigating authorities were given a lead in terms of where to start. Names were thrown in that documentary. Some PF stalwarts, some are aligned to the president, some his ambassadors. But 2 years down the line, we have not heard of anyone who has been arrested for that mineral squander. We have not heard even an update on the intention by the prosecuting authority to arrest or prosecute anyone whose name was mentioned, so that we get answers as a country, as a people. This is the level at which Zimbabwe has gotten to. Looting and the criminal activity is taken lightly. There is no urgency, there is no will to stop crime, especially crime that is happening at government level. This is why Zimbabwe as a country will continue to collapse if the leadership of Mr. Mnangagwa is not with immediate effect stopped.
Welfare Bureau Chief Senator Amai Vongai Tome has urged citizens not to tire in demanding accountability from the government. Speaking on CMR, Senator Tome urged citizens to keep fighting for change. She also urged citizens to rally behind Advocate Nelson Chamisa to realize genuine change that will transform their lives. The High Court in Harare has ordered Chief Seke, real name Stanley Chimanikire, to retract within 7 days ZANU-PF slogans he chanted at a gathering. This was after one of the villagers, Esther Vongai Zimudzi, dragged Chimanikire to court over Emmerson Mnangagwa 2030 slogan. Lawmaker Honorable Koban Madzivanyika welcomed the court ruling, saying traditional leaders must remain non-partisan as they lead people of different political persuasions. Let's hear more from Honorable Madzivanyika.
Our current constitution, the Constitution of Zimbabwe, to be precise, Section 281, subsection 2, it is very clear that traditional leaders must not be members of any political party or must not in any way participate in partisan politics. Secondly, the same provision of the Constitution says that the traditional leaders must not participate in an exit or act in a partisan manner. On the same clause, traditional leaders are not allowed to further the interests of any political party or political cause. Over and above that, traditional leaders must not violate the fundamental rights and freedoms of any person. So if you look, traditional leaders play a very vital role in our society, one of which is to ensure that they preside over family disputes or a dispute among citizens in their area of jurisdictions. So they must actually operate in a way which is legal, and they must demonstrate the highest standards of due diligence and respect of the Constitution. So I fully welcome the decision or the ruling made by the High Court to the effect that Justice Chief Seke must retract his ZANU-PF slogans which he chanted at a traditional leaders court. So Chief Seke was taken to court by a villager who felt aggrieved by his chanting of ZANU-PF slogans, because the villager was aware that it actually violated the constitutional provisions of our land. So I would like to applaud as well Esther Wangai-Simuzi, who for a courage for standing up to what is right, to ensure that the traditional does not abuse authority. It's not easy for an ordinary villager to take a chief to court, and this speaks volumes about the level of discontent, about the level of how people feel when their rights are being trampled under the guise of tradition. So you will find that these are the same kind of chiefs who perpetuate voter intimidation, who perpetuate coercion, who perpetuate voter rigging in elections, during elections, especially in rural areas where they got a considerable influence. So I would like to confirm that the ruling is a welcome development, because we cannot build a democratic society where citizens are forced to align with certain political ideologies simply because their chief has done so. So this kind of conduct is a direct violation of Section 281 of our national constitution. Above all, the ruling is not a punishment to the chief. It is a genuine correction. It is a reminder that traditional leadership must transcend politics. We expect other chiefs to take note and reflect of their conduct going forward, to ensure that they do not dip their hands into the political cookie jar.
The government of Emmerson Mnangagwa has been condemned for trampling on the very same rights which Liberation War heroes fought for. In their Heroes Day statement, Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, ATUZ, condemned the government for closing democratic space by criminalizing the right to demonstrate and organize. The union described teachers as modern-day heroes who strive to provide quality education despite earning peanuts. At least 7 people lost their lives on Heroes Day holiday on 2 different road accidents, the Zimbabwe Republic Police confirmed. One of the accidents occurred on Mutare Masvingo Highway, killing 6 and injuring 6 members of ZCC. The other one occurred in Hwange and claimed 1 life and injured 20. Most of the country's major roads are in bad state due to years of neglect by successive ZANU-PF governments. Emerson Mnangagwa's government is facing flack from citizens following online images of substandard podiums built on the provincial heroes' acres across the country. Some of the citizens accused Mnangagwa's regime of disrespecting Liberation War heroes, while others suggested that the money might have been diverted into another tender scandal. In our sports news, in Chan tournament matches played yesterday, co-hosts Uganda beat Nigeria 2-0 to record back-to-back victories, while South Africa edged Guinea 2-1. Today, Senegal play Congo and Nigeria clash with Sudan. FA Cup winners Crystal Palace will not play in this season's UEFA Europa League after the Court of Arbitration in Sports, CAS, upheld UEFA's decision to bar them from the competition. Palace were relegated to the last tier of UEFA continental competitions, the Conference League. Palace shareholder John Textor, who also has shares in Olympique Lyon of France, was found guilty of violating UEFA rules on multiple club ownership. Nottingham Forest will now play in the Europa League. To conclude our Citizens Movement Radio News, here are the headlines once more. Defense Forces Day brings sad memories of August 2018 military killings, says opposition official. Youth leader speaks of lost dreams amid the unemployment crisis in Zimbabwe. 17 months later, no arrest on gold mafia. That's all for tonight's news bulletin. Thank you for listening to CMR. Join us tomorrow for more news and updates. Until then, good night and stay informed.